What's going on, Canfield Nation? Welcome back into Coca's Pizza here in Canfield. Another Coach's Corner brought to you by our good friends at Coca's Pizza, all their locations, Boardman, and especially Canfield here. Live on location in Canfield. Pleased to be joined by Mike Pavlansky, the head football coach for the Cards. Mike, thanks for coming out.
Appreciate you having me again this week, Richie.
Another week, huh?
Yeah,
week 8 already. Hard to imagine.
They say it's the 10 fastest weeks of the year, and
Yeah.
I kind of believe it.
Oh, I do too. I mean, when you look at this season as a whole, we're already in week 8. You had a bye last week. What a schedule that this team has played this year. I mean, you started off with West Branch, who's one of the best teams right now in Division 4. Then you play Bellevue, who's another tough Division 4 team. You've beaten a team that's been a rival non-conference in the past in Dover, and then Cheney, who's one of the best teams in your region. So overall, what's your outlook on this season so far?
I'm really pleased with where our guys are at. There's no doubt. Even in a disappointing loss to Cheney, Richard, we played really well defensively, and offensively, we've got to figure some more things out. And I think we've done that in the last couple of weeks, certainly going down to Dover. And, anytime you can beat a Dover team at Dover, that says a lot about your kids. And, pleased about that. But that was 2 weeks ago, and our guys are looking forward to getting back on the field Friday night.
Get the bye week after you go down and beat Dover. Is that a situation where you kind of needed that week off? I mean, 2 physical games, Cheney and Dover back-to-back, took you down to the wire on both of them, kind of both physically and mentally exhausting. Is this a nice break?
Yeah, you never want the break. I really believe our kids deserve to play 10 games like everybody else, but it just didn't work out this year, and hopefully we'll get a 10-game schedule next year. But, hey, it wasn't a physical game, just Cheney and Dover.
Yeah.
It was West Branch, and then Bellevue, then Poland, and then St. Thomas More. Then obviously, you're looking at Cheney and Dover. We were a physically beat up team. We're a mentally tired team, and the week off has done us some good. It was great to be back on the practice field Monday with a normal schedule, and like I said, our guys are really looking forward to playing again on Friday night.
We talked about this on one of our shows on YSN. There's pros and cons to being independent, right? Pros is you could go out there and you could pick a really tough strength of schedule. Some of the cons could be that there might be a lot of teams towards weeks 8, 9, and 10 that might not want to play you, and you might have some open gaps or a situation that happened with Cleveland Rhodes. How do you feel about that as in independent team?
Well, being independent is really tough on the athletic director.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be honest. It's not tough on a coach. It's tough on the athletic director. And, Mike has done a great job finding teams that we're comparable to. Certainly we want to challenge our guys. And I think historically, if you look at our schedule, we have done that to prepare for the playoffs, whether we're in a league or not in the league. And scheduling the last few years has gotten increasingly more difficult. But, that's a lot that we have right now. And, we're going to continue to look for teams comparable to us and, move on and hopefully one day get back into a league.
One loss football team right now atop your region in Division 3, region number 9. You've got East, you've got Howland, and then you've got Boardman to finish the season in the last 3 weeks. 2 teams in East and Howland who have kind of struggled a little bit this season. During this week of practice, how do you keep your guys mentally focused?
Well, we've always talked about this, Richie. No matter who we're playing, we concentrate on us. And if we play at a high level that we expect our players to play at and they expect to play at, we'll have a good chance of winning the game. Will we win all of them? Probably not. And Cheney proved that. But, no matter who we play, we've got to be at our best that Friday night because you only get so many of them. And this year it's 9. Obviously the other thing you talk to the kids about is what we call the 1 in 100. You talk about, the 1980 hockey team. Nobody expected them to beat the the Soviet Union, USSR. You talk about Appalachian State and Michigan. Nobody expected that. You don't expect Buster Douglas to beat Mike Tyson. So we're talking about don't be the 1 in 100 because, the only team that can beat your Friday night is East. And they're going to show up ready to play and hopefully beat us. But if we show up and play at our level, then we'll have a great chance of winning the game.
And when you look at East, it's kind of different because their roster changes from week to week. Very young team up front, especially their line. Something that you're going to try and utilize throughout this game. You got a very experienced core, and they're a little bit inexperienced.
Absolutely. Mark Ason's doing a tremendous job over there. I know the record doesn't reflect it, but they have those guys every day after school to practice for a couple hours and then go compete on a Friday night. You see improvement. You don't see improvement in the win-loss record, but you see improvement on the field. And like you said, half their roster right now is freshmen. They're playing a lot of juniors and sophomores, a few seniors that are really talented, but it's tough when you're that young.
Yeah, when you look at East, historically, this has been a great program. I mean, 2018, you go back to Rain Stadium, and they got you there. And then, coming back the last couple of years, you've been on the right end of the scoreboard. You're going back to Rain Stadium again. Nice place to play on a Friday night. A little bit of revenge going back there a little bit?
I think not so much revenge, Richie. I mean, you're playing in one of the premier stadiums historically in Northeast Ohio, if not all the state and Rand Stadium. Our guys are again just itching to get back on the field.
Oh, yeah.
It just so happens to be at Rand Stadium, where the last time it didn't work out for us, and maybe we go down there and play a little bit better Friday night, and we get a win.
So I asked your players this all the time, going to all these stadiums throughout their high school career. You've been a coach for a long time. You visited some of the most prestigious high school stadiums in Ohio. What's one of your favorite?
Well, there's so many of them. I mean, hey, we played at Dover. We played at New Philly, Woody Hayes Stadium.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
We played at Bo Ryan Stadium in Niles. We played at Mollenkopf. Obviously, you go play at Camp McKinley when it was Fawcett Stadium. We played at Paul Brown. There's just so many our kids have been able to play in that we're excited about. And when you go to a different stadium, you take in the atmosphere and the historical perspective of what has happened there and who's coached there and who's played there. There's just not one. There's a whole bunch that were, Alliance Stadium or Mount Union's won so many national titles is another one that pops into my mind. So there's been some great stadiums. My favorite stadium, Bob Dove Stadium.
Oh,
Field. Yeah.
Now, speaking of that, your team has a chance to host at least one playoff game, maybe two potentially if you're able to get out of that first round. You got to take care of business. Right now, you control your own destiny. How do you kind of bring that and instill that in your players and your coaches?
We talked after the Dover game about that, Richie, that we had beaten Dover. We'd qualified for the playoffs, but we haven't qualified for a home game yet. That if we win one of three, we'll have one home game. If we win two of three, we'll have two home games. And that's all we've talked about because you don't know what the brackets look like. So right now we're playing for playoff seeding, and that's something to shoot for and be proud of.
When you look at this region as a whole, so many talented teams. You got Ursuline, who's moving up a couple divisions to play in Division number 3. Cheney, of course, we talked about before. Chardon, who's atop the region. Villa Angela St. Joseph, who Ursuline's going to play. I mean, this is going to be a really fun, competitive field. And when you look at that, you say, okay, we're the 2 seed. You think you're going to play a team that's, potentially a 4-win team. Right. That might not be the case this season. That might be a 7-8 win team this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Not in Region 9, Division 3. That it's competitive from top to bottom, from 1 through 16. And, no matter who we play, it's going to be fun for the fans. Coaches are going to be to work. The players are going to have to put a lot of work in it to try and get out of the first round.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. A lot of fun. Thanks to Steve Coca, his entire organization for putting this on. You get food here every Wednesday night.
Absolutely.
What do you go to?
I'm a pizza guy.
Yeah.
And then I grab some pepperoni rolls and things like that. But that's it. It's great food here. Steve and his family are tremendous hosts and tremendous supporters of all things Canfield.
Final question for you. We talked about it, 90 minutes last week for practice times, a day off there for homecoming on Saturday. What was the practice schedule like trying to get your guys back into the groove for game day?
We're back to a normal 2-hour practice. And, I think our kids enjoy being into a routine again, to try, because we haven't practiced since last Thursday, to try to get them back in faster. We usually do our 2-minute drill on Wednesdays. We started Monday with a 2-minute drill just to get their feet moving and get the energy level going, and then got back into a normal routine. So our guys have adapted well. We've healed up, and again, excited to play on Friday night.
Coach, thanks for coming out once again.
All right.
Another Coach's Corner, Mike Pavlansky, the head ball coach. We will have it live on YSN Friday night, 7 o'clock between the East Golden Bears at Rain Stadium. We will talk to you then here on YSN. Another Coach's Corner brought to you by Coca's Pizza.